Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth. And now we have a lot to deal with Nemo here because he has a piece of the horologium from Cardia and she needs that to live, and he has Impy's anti-gravity device that he needs to get to the moon, and things are just bad all around. We gotta deal with this guy. So, let's continue on. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. I was about to say something else when... Hey, hold on! What is that? Deli, who had been silent this entire time, points out the window in surprise. Could that be the Nautilus you were speaking of? We look at each other, then rush to the window. A large black shadow is overtaking the blue skies outside. We all hurry out the door and take in the majestic presence of the ship that seems to almost fill the entire sky. It looks like a bunch of tubes. We look up in shock as the Nautilus slowly continues moving forward. No, it only looks like it's going slow, but it might actually be traveling at an extremely great speed. The sheer size of it, too big to imagine floating in the air, makes it hard to judge the distance from where we are standing. That. Even Saint Germain, able to maintain a smile in any situation, is rendered speechless by this spectacle. This is the first time I've been able to get a full view of it myself. The word ship doesn't begin to cover it. This is a flying fortress made of steel. What is this? Humans are capable of creating something like that? No, this is far beyond the scope of what modern civilization should be able to achieve. He does have my device and the horologium, but still, Nemo may be a whack job, but I can't deny he's a genius. Things like that usually break down pretty easily if you attack them from the inside. I agree. The bigger it is, the more vulnerabilities it will have. Lupin and Van Helsing, you weren't surprised at all. Ha ha! I'm not surprised either. When you're a master of engineering like me, disassembling something like that's a snap. Impy, your knees are shaking. For a second, I thought that Nemo had found our hideout and is coming after us. But it seems he's just passing through. The Nautilus soars over us and continues on its way. It comes to a full stop above London, probably right around where the middle-class residential areas are. Suddenly, it makes a strange noise. Even though we're quite far from it, the sound is so loud that my whole body is shaken by the vibration. People of London, how do you do? My name is Nemo. I am the Lord of the Sky, here to enlighten Britain, no, all the world, through the miracle of science. Whoa, whoa. Are you all hearing this insanity he's opening up with? Yeah, but knowing Nemo, he's probably dead serious. Impy furrows his brow and nods. Lord of the Sky, that's some big talk. The world is vast. It won't come under his control that easily. And just because of that. I think it might actually be possible, depending on how he goes about it. What? A gravity alleviator and the horologium, that whack job, genius, has two inventions that could change the world. Indeed, the most frightening weapon that Nemo has in his possession is not the Nautilus itself. Instead, it is the two pieces of advanced technology. Yes, the Nautilus is merely one example of what can be created by combining those two things. If Nemo is a true genius, he should be able to come up with any number of terrifying things. No, thanks. Just one of these things sounds manageable, but if we get 10 or 20 of them coming our way... Then it's just a matter of handling things before things get to that point. That's definitely true, but are we going to be able to handle that? Victor seems to be raising the doubts that we are all thinking. Now, it's time for a fun game, brought to you by the genius scientist Nemo. This goes out to the British government and to all the people of this country. I'm going to have all of you play a game of tag. Tag. A chasing game, I see. Why would he want to do that? I seek a girl who has the horologium. The horologium. I feel like Nemo can see me somehow, and chills run up my spine. Impy is standing near me, gently helping me stay upright. It's fine. The fact that he's calling for a manhunt means he doesn't know where we are right now. He smiles. But all the while, Nemo's terrifying speech goes on. Your mission as the pursuers is simply to capture her. You do not need to know what the horologium looks like. All you need to do is bring me the girl with the horologium. Now, I know exactly how foolish all of you are. You probably don't know, as I say, even after seeing my awe-inspiring Nautilus. In order to get the more ignorant masses to move, I must fall upon a carrot-and-stick approach. Bring the girl to London's outer walls within 3 days. The one who brings her to me will be promised a high position in the new world I'm about to create. I hear Impy mutter, "Oh joy," behind me. And now for the stick. If she is not found within 3 days, the great iron hammer of science will be brought down upon you all. Just like this. Something changes on the Nautilus. Part of the ship opens, and even from this distance, I see numerous objects falling from it. And in the next moment, the sound of a powerful explosion reaches all the way out to where we are, and the ground shakes a little. Bombs. That part of the city is a densely populated residential area. A significant number of casualties must have occurred. No. A plume of jet-black smoke rises from my part of London, as if to affirm what Saint Germain just said. It's not too difficult to imagine what kind of hellish state that neighborhood must be in right now. Now, do you see? I am a man of my word. If the girl is not brought to me in 3 days, I promise you that the rest of London will be engulfed in flames. Nemo's voice echoes through the skies. It sounds like the speech of a demon, here to announce London's end. Shortly afterward, we gather our belongings and leave Saint Germain's mansion. I have no idea how the government and the people of London will react to Nemo's threat. Since we've been staying at this mansion for so long, it's possible that our own whereabouts are already known. Lupin suggested that it would be dangerous to continue staying here. We decided to move over to one of Lupin's hideouts located in London. I heard that explosion earlier killed a lot of people. And that maniac's going to come after all of London in 3 days, right? There's no telling what'll happen here. The crowds are restless with concern, and it can be heard from their conversations. I can't help but stop to listen but Impy taps me on the shoulder.
Let's keep moving, Cardia.
Right. While on our way to Lupin's hideout, I overhear similar conversations, time and time again. All parts of the city have been thrown into chaos like a beehive that has been poked, and no one is able to hide their distress. The newspapers are printing extra editions. Who is this man calling himself Nemo? Who is Cardia? What is that huge battleship in the air? Questions and speculations are being printed with pointless conclusion, calling for swift action by the government.
Wow, this place is a dump. So, this will be our base for a while. It's not as comfortable as the Count's mansion, but home is where you make it.
He unlocks the door as he says this and invites me into the room. It's much bigger than I had expected. I don't think it will feel too cramped, even if we all stay here for a while. Thank you, Lupin. Lupin stares at me for a while, then lets out a small sigh.
I'm sure you have a lot going through your mind, but don't let it get to you.
All right. Later, we all exchange ideas on how to proceed from this point onward. With our opponent situated in a flying fortress, our options are limited. The only idea we can come up with for now is to use the ornithopter and charge in. But the Nautilus is a battleship after all. There are bound to be more weapons on board it than just bombs. If we attack it unprepared, we'll surely be shot down. Our discussion grinds to a halt, and I glance out the window. Even from along the skyline of a street in the poor district, the sunset is the same beautiful red it is everywhere else. Hey, would it be all right if I went outside for some fresh air?
You shouldn't. You're essentially a wanted criminal right now. I can't imagine that there would be anyone out there who would know you. But if anyone finds out, there's a good chance they'll come after us.
I feel the same way. When people are cornered, there's no telling what they'll do to save themselves. You're right. I'm sorry for asking something like that. Seeing all of them frown at me like that makes me hang my head in shame. However, Saint Germain smiles faintly and speaks out in my favor.
So much has happened. I understand why you would want to be alone with your thoughts. We can't allow you to go off on your own under these circumstances, but perhaps you could walk with someone else.
Then,
this is obviously where I come in. Allow me to be your escort.
Impy and I manage to convince the others that I'll be all right, and we step out into the alley to get some air. We silently walk through the crowd, not exchanging any words.
Damn it, my home and everything I own turned to ashes. Is that what you're doing over here? How terrible! I don't know who he's after, but we just have to hand over one person to end all this, right? I wish he'd turn herself in. That's what we have the government for. I'm sure they're taking care of this. Ha! Politicians just think of us as more of the city's garbage. There's no way they'd take a stand for us.
No matter where we go, all I hear is talk of the misfortune Nemo has caused. People who have lost their homes and fled to this part of the city. People who look up at the sky and tremble in terror. Some people who think the government will come to their rescue and consider this none of their business. In 3 days, if I am not found, Nemo is going to set London ablaze. It's not an empty threat. Knowing Nemo, he will probably carry out his promise without any hesitation. If that's what's going to happen, I might as well. As the noise of the crowd swells in the background, my mind begins to spin. If I turn myself in, Nemo might not attack London. In exchange, he'll take the horologium from me, leaving me another silent corpse. I'll no longer be able to live with Impy and the others, or see Impy smile. What am I thinking? I was never alive in the first place, so I could never live alongside Impy. I feel like a long time has passed. Impy, let's go back. Thank you for coming with me. As we begin to walk back, I find myself filled with a sense of futility.
She's smiling, though.
Impy, who had been quiet all this time, suddenly pokes my cheek.
Cardia, why the long face?
Huh?
That expression doesn't suit you. Were you having some weird thoughts?
I think the best thing would be to say, is it alright for me to stay? Is it alright for me to stay here? To him and no one else. I feel compelled to confess my true feelings. I speak with a heavy heart. If I stay here in hiding, Nemo will attack London. Then maybe I should turn myself in to him. I look down, and Impy gently caresses my cheek.
Before you would have kept all this to yourself. But now you're telling me the truth. Does it have something to do with your love for me?
I tried to deny it, but can't quite find the words. I feel the warmth in my chest that prevents me from saying he is completely wrong. I don't know if it's love, but I feel like I shouldn't lie to you.
I think that's pretty safe to say that you're in love with me at this point.
Impy lets out a small sigh, then gently pats me on the head.
Let me just tell you this. Even if you do as Nemo says right now, nothing good will come of it at all.
But he said he would burn London down.
Fine. Let's just say you surrender yourself to Nemo. If he takes out your horologium, you'll obviously die.
Yes.
After that, Nemo is going to have the insane power of the horologium at his disposal and go even more out of control. Even if that stops him from destroying London, it would only be temporary. See? You getting caught by him actually leads to a more dangerous outcome.
Maybe you're right.
That's why we're all desperately trying to figure out how to get the happy ending, in which you're safe and we kick Nemo's butt. That's why you're not allowed to be the first one to give up, Cardia. That'll make me cry.
Impy's half-joking words and his kindness seep into my heart. I smile and nod. Thank you, Impy. I feel a little more settled now.
I'm very honored to have been able to assist you, my lady.
Impy gives me a deep bow as he says this.
Have some more faith in us. Everything's going to be just fine.
Impy's profile, with the light from the city shining on it, looks very kind and beautiful. But it's his smile that has so much warmth that my chest tightens. It makes me afraid to lose him. If Impy abandons me now and takes off, I probably wouldn't be able to bear it. That's how I feel. Hey, Impy. Why are you doing so much for me?
Huh? Why, you ask? I guess there are 3 reasons. 1, it's a gentleman's duty to help a lady. 2, when the lady is as beautiful as you, it's a no-brainer.
I should have expected as much from you. As Impy lists his reasons with a smile, I can't help but smile myself.
What about 3? And 3, because I love you.
Impy gently holds my hand. He's said these words so many times since the day that we met that they're like a common greeting now. But when he said I love you now, it felt different from the previous times.
And I really love seeing you smile. Huh? Oops, that was 4.
He laughs happily.
Oh, he's so cute sometimes.
Romantic feelings can develop between a man and a woman, and at times it can't be helped. It just arises in your heart without any regard for a person's will. I read about that long ago in a book in my mansion. I had thought it was an emotion that I would never feel. But now I see. This feeling. I look at Impy and smile. Impy. The warmth of a person and love. This person has taught me everything. If an artificial being like me is able to fall in love.
What is it, Cardia?
Nothing. I just wanted to say your name. This is when I feel it happen, right in this moment. As we approach the door to the hideout, I see Lupin walking towards us and raise my hand. In addition to Lupin, Van Helsing, Victor, and Saint Germain are walking with him. Where did you all go?
We just went out to see how things are in the city and to get some food. We had a lot to investigate.
You all came out as a group.
We were also worried about you two. You have been gone for a while. Plus, the one escorting you is the least reliable person in our whole group. How dare you speak of a ladies' night that way? Besides, the least reliable one is Cece. The dog. Aw. Why are you comparing yourself to a dog?
As we walk, Lupin opens the door and steps in. He stops suddenly. I had been walking right behind him, but I came to a hasty stop. What's the matter, Lupin? I peek out from around Lupin's back to see what's going on in the room. I stiffen in surprise.
What? Huh? Sholmes, what are you doing here? What, you ask? I'm here because Delacroix let me in.
Sholmes leisurely lifts a steaming cup to his lips. He was at the mansion before. He's your friend, isn't he, Lupin? As the one left in charge during your absence, I decided to take responsibility and invite him inside. You're welcome.
He is not my friend. Don't serve this man any of our tea.
As Deli was giving his explanation, Lupin was looking up at the ceiling. Then he suddenly looks over at Sholmes, as if realizing something.
No, that's not the point. Hold on, you. How did you find out about this place? Oh dear, you're always so full of questions.
He shrugs as he says this.
I visited the mansion, but you lot were nowhere to be seen. I didn't have any choice but to deduce where your current hideout would be, based on your actions and ranked by probability. Luckily for me, I was right on my first guess. It's a little scary how lucky I have been these days. Would you like a cup? It's cheap, but it is rather soothing. That's my tea! I bought it!
Lupin stomps over to Sholmes and snatches the cup away from him.
Oh wow, I've never seen anyone toying with Lupin so much. Huh, it certainly is entertaining to see that man out of his element. Ah, that's right. There is one important thing I've forgotten to tell you. Regarding this hideout of yours, several other visitors are scheduled to stop by, Will that be all right? Huh? What do you mean? Here's what I mean.
Sholmes snaps his fingers.
You're not going to get away this time.
I turn toward the sudden booming voice to see Leonhardt and his soldiers storming into the room.
Oh, not this guy again. Lupin! There is no escape.
I'm intimidated by Leonhardt's intensity and take a few steps back. Huh? What?
How did you know about this place? I invited them. You utter bastard! And yet, you really didn't sense their presence at all. My Lupin, it seems you're getting rather rusty.
Perhaps the man's attitude has gotten to Lupin because he closes in on Sholmes with none of his usual cool. Sholmes truly is Lupin's weakness. Despite the situation, I watch them with interest.
You really do detest me. What's wrong with a thief hating a detective? Now what, do we drive them out? Van Helsing, you shouldn't say such things when you don't mean to do them.
Saint Germain takes a step forward, waving his hands to call for reason from us all.
There's no way that Van Helsing would have missed this many people lying in wait for us. Is that true? You should have said something. I didn't feel that they were here to harm us, so I figured there was no need to warn you. All of you, stop talking! Lupin, you are under arrest! It looks like there's one old man here who still has some animosity for us. Hey, wait a second. You said he's under arrest, but didn't Victoria say we are protected by the government?
When Victor asks this, Leonhardt jerks himself upright.
This is a direct order from Her Majesty the Queen. She wants all of you to be escorted to the palace. I see. The Queen. Then, Mr. Sholmes, I take it you were hired by the government to find us. Do I have that right? Just as you say.
Sholmes pours himself another cup of tea and raises it to the Count in a salute.
So, what are you saying? Is escort some government lingo for force us to come along with you at gunpoint? Well, no, that was my call to prevent any of you from getting away.
You could have just told us that you were here to escort us.
Haha, he is a very serious man. It is both his strength and his weakness. Just come with us. We mustn't keep Her Majesty waiting.
Leonhardt declares this, then leaves the room, fully expecting us to follow. We all look at one another, then decide that it's best to follow him without resisting. We're split into several groups, then are transported by carriage. I'm in the same carriage as Impy and Leonhardt. Deli and Cece are allowed to stay behind at the hideout. This was Van Helsing's idea, as Deli's presence among the government officials who fear vampire retaliation may cause tension. I agreed with that. I would like Deli to be as far away from the conflict as possible. I watch as the night skyline flows by, and I think about what lies ahead. At this point, I have no clue what Queen Victoria's intentions are in sending for us. The soldiers don't seem to have any animosity for us, but we still can't allow ourselves to relax.
You look pale. Are you all right?
Yes.
Hey, old man, you're not plotting to hand her over to Nemo, are you? I am not privy to Her Majesty's motives. So you're saying that she doesn't want to tell you? Wow, she must not trust you at all. How dare you! She is being cautious that the government's motives are not leaked to external parties. However, Her Majesty did say that she would do you no harm. Whatever the Queen has up her sleeve, the lady here is safe with me.
Impy's words are reassuring. If he says I'll be all right, I trust him. We pass through streets lined with large mansions, and the much larger building comes into view. Buckingham Palace, standing tall and dignified, rises high into the London night.
Follow me.
We exit the carriage, surrounded by a great number of soldiers. We walk through the palace halls. Eventually, we arrive at a wide-open space. Beyond the line of soldiers, the Queen sits with an air of composure upon the throne at the far end of the room. And before we actually talk to the Queen, we are going to take a break in the dialogue here. So, we will continue our audience with the Queen in the next episode, and I hope to see you in some of my future videos. I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.